1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod!
Yes, we're on the air.
Pod.
And the gang's all here, all things on the South Side. We're listening to the Southside Pod. Looking for the best Southside breweries. Or you might just need an awesome place to eat.
Southside Pod!
Mount Greenwood, Evergreen,
Southside Pod.
Blue Island, Beverly, Payless, and Allsup too. You're tuned into the Southside Pod.
Southside Pod!
Oakland, Midlothian,
Southside Pod.
Oak Forest, Chicago Ridge, Flossmoor, and Bridgeview. You're listening to Southside Pod.
Have you ever roasted a pig?
Have I ever roasted? Not personally, but I've been to many pig roasts.
I've helped with a pig roast.
Yeah?
I've been to one where they buried it.
I saw that in Hawaii where they bury it.
I was at a party.
Yeah. They're having a pig roast in Blue Island.
Blue Island, the punk rock pig roast we took?
They're having at Rock Island Public House. They're having one.
Yeah.
They're doing a tiki pig roast that they're having.
Okay.
A tiki weekend that they're having. We have a guest here coming up on the program.
We do. Who is that?
Is going to one of the lovely people from Butter Upon Bacon.
Really?
Gina.
I sat down and ate their wonderful food.
Right.
That was awesome.
Gina's going to be on, and she's going to tell us all about it here on this show. She's going to tell us about.
Is she coming to the homemade 9-foot bar? Or
No, she's not
I was
coming.
going to say,
out.
tell her to bring some of that.
Yeah, well,
milkshake was amazing. Remember that thing? Oh my
All the
God.
bacon. There's like bacon on it.
It was
Alcon
crazy.
butter. Remember that?
Yeah, it was
Just bacon everything.
You can tell.
Making us no idea. It's like, remember all that bacon upon butter? It was so good.
Everything was wrapped in bacon or cooked with
You
bacon.
can tell that Mike hasn't been in front of a microphone in months.
Yeah.
He's like,
It has been a while.
all right, so that's coming up, and I'm going to Flossmoor Brewing Station where they have a bunch of like really good beers that they have out for the summer.
Doesn't the place look? It's a train station, right?
It's the one with the train station. The metro station goes by. This show came out a day later than normal because I had so much stuff going on. My son graduating. But they have a beer coming out this Saturday here. This show came out on Friday the 3rd. Saturday the 4th, they have a brand new beer coming out because it's Zip Code Day.
Zip code day.
In Flossmoor. Yes, their zip code
What is zip code?
Their zip code is 60422. It's 64 of 22.
Get out of here.
And they're having a massive party in Flossmoor.
That's kinda
so,
cool.
Wow.
And so everybody's doing something in the town, and they're doing a beer specifically for Zip Code Day, and they're calling it, the name of the beer is 60422.
I bet
That
you the
makes
other
sense.
breweries are like mad that they have to wait till like 2055.
Yeah, seriously.
1, 2, 3. How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
It's the homemade 9-foot oak bar. How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it? It's the homemade oak bar. We're down here drinking at the homemade 9-foot oak bar. And I know wish you were here and not so far away from the homemade 9-foot oak bar. Is it leek? Is it teak? I don't know, but it's not redwood, it's oak, you know. It's the how many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
It's a homemade 9-foot oak bar. I said, how many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it? Homemade 9-foot oak bar. Homemade 9-foot oak bar.
I love going out to all these different locations. And then all of a sudden I have a week that just gets crazy. And I couldn't even drive to Blue Island this week. I had to put Gina Doherty on the phone from Butter Upon Bacon and also Rock Island Public House to tell me about this event they have coming up next weekend, Father's Day weekend. Tell me about it, Gina. How are you?
How are you, Chris? I'm so excited. I know. I can't wait.
You know, I like it because I'm a big Hawaiian shirt guy. You know, like I have a ton of them. One of the things that I had to go to this week for my son for his graduation, the multiple things that I seem to be going to for an 8th grade graduation, I wanted to wear my Hawaiian shirt. Like I told my wife, I'm like, I'm busting out the bright orange one because, I feel like I'm graduating too. I want to go in style. I was shot down on that one, but I will be able to bust it out that entire weekend. From what I understand, this is not only a Father's Day brunch that you guys are having on Father's Day, but the entire weekend you're doing a tiki takeover event. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's actually kind of how it got started, was not even just the whole tiki drink idea from Rock Island Public House's bar, but we were kind of sitting there one night. I know our bartenders, Mike Vanderbilt and Ashley Karasoff, were discussing, doing tiki drinks, and Dave Brown and Jen Brown had also kind of been formulating this idea as well. And everybody who doesn't love a good tiki drink? And we have some friends of the bar who really, really love making drinks. So they kind of consulted with them about their favorite drinks. And we were sitting there one night at the bar, kind of formulating this idea. And we're like, who doesn't love a good Tommy Bahama shirt? That would really go well with Father's Day weekend. And it all just kind of fell together. Dads love Tommy Bahama.
I see what you did. You thought dads like to wear stupid shirts. And then you went into a tiki weekend. That's what this was.
No, Chris, never.
That's exactly what you did.
I'm not saying my husband or my father wear stupid shirts. My dad's a spiffy dresser. I'm saying my dad is a 100% spiffy dresser. He's a classy dude, but Jerry Doherty loves a loud shirt.
Yeah, well, anytime we get an excuse to wear a loud shirt, we do it. And then sometimes we wear the loud shirt even when we don't have an excuse for it. I'm a big fan in the summer of busting them out. So this sounds like the inaugural event to do it. Are you doing a pig roast? Is that what I saw?
Yes. So Friday, so this is a Thursday through Sunday event. It's 4 days of fun. We've got Thursday just starts off the drinks. Friday night we'll be having hula dancers, Polynesian dancers coming out to Rock Island Public House. Saturday night, there's a whisper of a band. We're trying to get that squared away, but we will be doing our Saturday pig roast. So all day that the pigs will be roasting kind of like Friday night into Saturday morning, and then me and Jerry come throughout. We almost do like a 24-hour shift where we trade off. One of us gets a little bit of sleep, and then the other comes in, and we check on the pigs, and then the other goes back in the morning, and we pull them off the spits that are on the Rock Island Public House patio.
See, that's what I was going to ask you. Is all of Blue Island going to smell like roast pig for about 24 hours? Because this is outside, so you have them outside.
Old Western smells so damn good. It's amazing. And they're stuffed with, like, delicious herbs, lemongrass, tons of citrus, and then we do like a traditional sweetened condensed and evaporated milk coating on the outside, so it gets that really traditional crispy skin. So it's like that hard, almost like caramelized crack on it. It's absolutely delicious. So that's kind of why I go in. Last year I startled Mike and Ashley. They were there, closing up the bar late. Bar closes at 3, and I stroll in at 4 a.m. and they're like, bar's closed.
And instead it's just you checking on the pig.
Yeah, just checking on my girl.
Yeah, I think you would have to. I mean, I'm thinking about this. This is a Saturday pig roast that you're starting on Friday. Friday night in Blue Island,
yeah.
There's people out drinking. You got to have somebody standing there like an armed guard, or somebody's coming into the patio to just try to eat that pig right off the spigot. And that could make them sick. And that, it won't be done yet. So you have to be there for their safety and to make sure the event doesn't get screwed up.
And it's not just one pig. We have like 3 to 4 pigs roasting on the spit.
You guys at Butter Upon Bacon do just so much good stuff, and I'm upset this week
Thank
because
you.
Normally when I get out there I get to eat for free and and check out what you're having, and so we can talk about it on the podcast, and instead we're doing this over the phone, so you could tell how busy
and we
I
just
am.
dropped a new menu, Chris.
Oh, don't do this to me, because like you know that this is like one of my spots that I love to go pop into. And Rock Island Public House is just kind of a
Thank you.
cool little bar. And, you got all kinds of neat things that are going on there. And then this thing coming up, I was like, well, I don't want to miss talking about it. But before I let you go, the secret to roasting a pig. I know that there are people that sit around and think to themselves, I'd love to just do this in my backyard. I mean, you got people now that smoke things all the time. That wasn't a thing really in Chicago 10 years ago. So eventually you may have somebody that says, I'm going to try to roast my own pig. What is the secret to roasting a pig?
Low and slow. You got to watch and shift your coals like an old man. Make sure you got a beer or drink of choice in your hand, and you got to watch it. And I think that if you're going to do something like this, where you do a Polynesian style or a Lechon style, you got to make sure you get that evaporated milk squeeze bottle to get that really, really crispy skin.
Interesting. So interesting. I mean, I've seen them before where they bury them in the sand essentially in Hawaii and they put the palms over them and stuff
really
like that.
Cool.
That's really neat.
It doesn't get that crispy skin though.
Yeah. You're making the skin all crispy. You're making me hungry right now, Gina. I appreciate you doing that.
Me too, right? I got no food in the house. I'm at home too. I'm sitting at home, nothing here.
Every time I talk to you, I'm just like, I mean, you're a cook. I mean, Butter Upon Bacon's kind of a cool spot to go to. Always really interesting menu items, but it's really hard to find anything that isn't spectacular when you're there. Located inside a Rock Island Public House, and they're doing the pig roast.
And they're doing all these amazing drinks. Oh my God, I can't even tell you about the drinks, not to mention the pig.
Sounds like a blast, okay? For those that don't know where it is, the Blue Islanders know where it is. Rock Island Public House, currently always located at 13328 Old Western Avenue in Blue Island. A neat little area down there. If you've never been before, I expect you to have big crowds. Thanks so much, Gina.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate it. Good luck with the graduation. And, man, we hope to see you guys out there.
I have a confession to make. It's true, and I'm guessing you have done the same thing. Put more time into thinking about what's for dinner than preparing for your retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I agree with you, and I want to help you out. I've got a local, experienced, down-to-earth guy who's a friend of this show. He's got a get-to-know-you approach and do the right thing values, and he's been around for over 20 years right here on the South Side. His name is Tom Walsh. He's located on the corner of 111th and Kedzie, and he's waiting for your call. In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? Call someone who's invested in your success. Reach out to Tom now, 773-779-0023, or pop in at the office right on 111th and Kedzie. Tell him we sent you. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC. Carnival season's coming up, but I just went to the biggest carnival in the area. I went to Six Flags Great America.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Springfield, Illinois. Hey-o.
Zing!
I went to Six Flags for my kids' 8th grade. You know, the last weekend. Last weekend,
were you
they take all the kids.
You just kind of joined them.
I
or
went.
Were you spying?
You just showed up, right?
Here's what happened.
Or were you working?
My
Please keep your arms and hands inside and enjoy your day, Great America.
Do you know what they're paying these?
Listen
right
to
now?
Southside Pod.
that's what
Pull
I do.
us down, pull up.
Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button.
This tram will not leave the station until you hold up your phones and show me you're subscribed to Southside Pod.
Dominic's graduating from the 8th grade, and Audrey didn't get to go on any of these things because the world shut down a month and a half or 2 months beforehand. So she was belly aching about it. And I said, I'll take you to Great America on the same day he's going. I'm a podcaster. I can take the day off. So I'm like, I'll take you. And he was cool with it. I asked him. And he's like, no, that's cool. So we went. And then, of course, Erica decided she was being left out. So she took the day off of work and brought the 6-year-old. So now all of a sudden the whole family was at Great America.
Did you wear like matching shirts with like...
Southside Pod shirts. Right?
Yeah.
Audrey was wearing a Southside Pod shirt.
Fantastic.
She put it on.
Did you put stickers all over the rides? In the bathrooms and stuff?
No, not all over the rides. No. So I go And, we avoided my son, and it was just me and my daughter went and did roller coasters. And
Par for the course.
Yeah. Or he avoided you.
Erica went with the little guy, and so it was just roller coasters all day with my 16-year-old.
Right.
Because that's what she wanted to do.
Okay.
And man, am I old. I was
How
so
you feeling?
sore.
What was
after
the
that.
one that was because I have mine.
Yeah.
At Great America.
Right.
What is the worst one on your body?
The one that hurt the most?
Yeah. Oh, you felt the most like, oh God, I'm too old for that one.
The American Eagle.
Yes, absolutely.
Super
The American
bouncy.
Eagle. And
It
the thing
throws
is,
you around bad.
when I rode the American Eagle with my dad, it seemed really big. And now as a grown man, it's way too small to even sit in.
Yeah.
Like it was the hardest thing to fit my ass into in
Right.
the seat. It was the seat belts
it's
like
the ride's fault.
barely fit. The crossbar doesn't actually go
Sounds like a
across your
lawsuit.
legs. You have to turn your knees in just to get the crossbar over. Like grown adults shouldn't be on the American Eagle.
Well, it's called the American Eagle, so it's a bigger people. It's an obesity problem.
Oh, what was interesting
People
was
were
they were
smaller in the 70s when they built it.
they were throwing fat people off of certain rides.
Yes, I've seen that before.
They
It's
were
very
doing it.
embarrassing when they're trying to click it and then they're like,
It doesn't work,
You
and
kind
like,
of see
get
the
off.
hand gesture. And they just like
They
hangs
don't
his
have
head
the
down and then
they don't have the
leaves.
extendo belt for you.
I watched a wife have to walk over and tell her husband that the harness didn't fit and she would be waiting for her. But I was like,
no.
I feel so bad for
And he
her.
stayed?
He stayed. He was on the
All right,
ride.
honey, I'll see you.
It's like
Right.
a 40-minute wait. You think he was getting off?
Right,
He was
yeah,
like,
right.
I'll see you in 3
I'm
minutes.
telling you for months.
Maybe a few more walks around the block. He could have taken the ride with me.
Hands up, kids, hands up. Take this as a lesson.
It is now time for your Southside Pod bulletin board. Let's take a look at everything going on and available to you on the South Side. It's all brought to you by Cool Clouds Vapor Shop. Quitting smoking is hard, and Cool Clouds wants to offer you an alternative, a full taster bar, CBD products in Evergreen Park at 3837 West 95th Street, or visit them online today at coolcloudsvapor.com. Lamont Legends Cruise Nights is back this summer, and next Wednesday, June 8th, it continues. 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. It's all about antiques and street rods. Get out there and take a look. You will be amazed at the care and the time that people put into rebuilding these classics. And remember to check out the Village of Lamont. Learn all about it at lamontdowntown.com. You recently heard from a couple that sat down here at the 9-Foot Homemade Oak Bar and talked about growing peppers in their backyards and other people's backyards and creating delicious hot sauces. Sid Sauce is available to you right now, and they offer free delivery to local customers door to door. They were also telling me there's a health benefit to hot sauce. I didn't know this. The beta carotene and the antioxidants actually help your immune system, and it speeds up your metabolism. So now when I put hot sauce on food, does that make that diet food? I'm going with it all summer long. If you want to reach out, they're a local business, they're brand new, go through Facebook, look up Sid Sauce today. If you are or know a senior that needs help recovering at home from an illness or hospitalization, suffering from dementia, living with a chronic health condition, terminally ill, or just a fall risk, Hibernian Home Care is there for you. They are dedicated to servicing individuals who need assistance to remain in their own homes, age in place, and maintain their independence. And they are locally owned and operated by a registered nurse with over a quarter of a century in experience. That's big. Reach out to Mary Murphy today if you want to learn more. 708-634-2450, or check out hibernianhomecareservice.com. In Palos Heights, the pool opens this Saturday. That's exciting. Palos Heights Pool opening day at 7607 West College Drive is Saturday, June 4th. And of course, prepare yourself for Rock Island Public House and Butter Upon Bacon's Pig Roast and Tiki Weekend. That is coming up Father's Day weekend. Mark your calendars. If you have anything for the Southside Pod Bulletin Board, reach out, type a message, leave a voicemail, all through the website at southsidepod.com. Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them.
A pitcher of beer, a pitcher of beer. Let's order another pitcher of beer. That pitcher of beer should come over here. I love that pitcher of beer.
It is a beautiful day. Summer has begun. Southside Pod out at Flossmoor Station Brewing, and a really interesting place. Kind of a fun spot all summer long if you got kids or if you just like being outdoors. Like my kid loves this place because there's an actual train that runs right by because Flossmoor Station's here. And then you have the restaurant, brewery, a caboose that has its own bar inside of it. And Ryan Chai is sitting here outside on this beautiful patio with me today to taste some beers and talk about some new things for the summer. How are you, bud?
I'm good. How are you? Welcome back to Flossmoor.
Oh, I'm always happy to come out here, man. You're worth the drive, okay? You're 30 minutes from Evergreen Park where I'm at, and I come to Flossmoor whenever I can just to hang with you.
Yeah, it's a hike. I'm sorry about that.
All right, so before we get to the two you wanted to talk about today, let's talk about the one I was drinking before you came walking in the door, because I sat down and I said, what's good here? And, you know, the wonderful woman behind the bar goes, well, what do you like? I'm like, I like everything. And she's like, do you like barrel-aged stouts and, 2 years in a bourbon barrel? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, we have this very rare one. That's what she said. She said, we don't always have this one. So tell me what this is, because it's rich and really good.
So we got what you're drinking is a barrel-aged stout, barrel-aged Shadow of the Moon that we aged for 2 years in Woodford Reserve barrels. So you got a lot of chocolate, you got a lot of bourbon, vanilla, oak, a little bit of toffee in there. So it's really. I'm
a Woodford Reserve drinker. It's one of my basic ones behind the bar. Like I'll go splurge on something and I'll keep a Woodford Reserve in the back as well.
Yeah, this is it's a really good barrel. That's about 75% of our barrels are Woodford barrels, and everything that we put in them comes out pretty well. So pretty happy with this one that you're drinking.
What's the process for getting the barrels? We just had the guys on from Pollyanna last week, and they're lucky because they're opening a distillery a block and a half from their brewery, so they're going to distill and then use their own barrels in the future, so it's going to get real easy for them. But for you, you're not distilling anything here, so how hard is that for you to go out and find somebody to partner with and then get the barrels?
So luckily it's not too difficult. We work with a cooperage company out in Denver, and they are able to supply several different bourbon barrels. We got several wine barrels from them, some Cabernet and some Chardonnay barrels from them. So luckily it's not too hard. It's just a matter of lining everything up perfectly once things are done in the fermenter, and then put that into barrels and age it for 9, 12, 24 months.
Can you tell the difference? Like, I'm sure you've used different barrels from different people before, right? And different distilleries and different whiskeys or bourbons or whatever. When they come in, you like lean in, you smell them, and you're like, yeah, that's a Woodford Reserve, or or does it all basically smell the same at that point?
I'm not a huge bourbon person, so I can't differentiate between the minute details of bourbon, but definitely when we've put one beer into two different kinds of bourbon barrels, and you get two different characteristics. One might have a little more harshness, more bourbon character to it than the other one, but they both come out great, and that's about as far as I go with bourbon.
All right, now you have a cool one that you're releasing here on the 4th of June, 60422, and it's not because that's the date of the release. It just works out perfectly. It's also the zip code for Flossmoor, right?
It is true, yeah. So it's going to be Zip Code Day on Saturday, June 4th, and the village.
Is that a party here in Flossmoor?
Yeah, so the village and the people that put together the half marathon throughout Flossmoor, they're throwing a party in Flossmoor Park on the other side of the tracks from us, and we're releasing an American lager that day as well. So it'll be a hell of a party.
Yeah, it's actually the zip code on that date that's really neat. We have a lot of zip codes that would fall into, if you think about it, over the next couple of years on the south side, where they could have zip code day, but Flossmoor figured that out and decided to have a big party coming up on the 6th, right?
That is true.
Or on the 4th, coming up on the 4th here, yeah.
So that'll be everything worked out perfectly, and if I was thinking a little more in advance, I probably could have made the ABV of this beer 6.4 or something like that, but whatever.
Oh, come on, are you able to do that, or are you just showing off at this point? Can you figure out how to get that close?
I could have, but I figured 4.7 is enough, so it's all right.
All right, well, let's taste this one here. Tell me a little bit about what style it is and what I should be tasting.
So it's an American lager we brewed with rice flakes. So you got a nice smooth malt character throughout the beer, and then it finishes with like crisp, lean white rice kind of flavor on it.
The rice thing is something that you hear that a lot of the big manufacturers use. You don't hear a lot of brewers use rice as much, unless I'm wrong about that. This is something like your Budweiser, your Millers make them. Most brewers stay away from it. There's like a stigma around it, but you went with it here and it tastes real good.
Yeah, so Budweiser, I believe, is the one that uses rice, and it's cliche or kind of stigma against it, but rice has been used for hundreds of years in brewing beer, and it leans really well in this kind of style, so it came out really nice, I think.
This is the kind of beer you drink in the summer. Yeah. I mean, that's what this is. This is like, you're on the boat, you're on the patio, you're in front of the house, you just cut the lawn. Like, this is the beer you crack open. Like, are people able to walk out of here with this, or they got to come here and drink it?
So we got, so we'll have it on tap that day, and then we're also releasing 4-packs as well. Only here, not in the market, but we will have 4-packs to go. So it'll be perfect to enjoy on those 90-degree days coming up. And, well, I mean, we already had them, so they're again in the near future. So, yeah.
Well, as I get this other one here in front of me, and you're so generous, we've got a couple beers here we're trying out, and I believe this is an IPA that we're going to have here next. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what it is like to be the brewer at a place that has a great selection of beers, right? But it's also a restaurant. Like, they have a big menu at this place, and like a lot of places I go to, they're breweries first, restaurant second. I kind of feel like you're the brewer, you care about the beer, but they're a restaurant as well. Like, it's a little different than walking into a brewery. What's that like?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. So it's not just, you can't just think of the beer as, well, I'm just going to brew beer and, I'm going to have people come out here and enjoy it. You got to think of your clientele that comes in as a restaurant as well. So you have to kind of make things according to your restaurant clientele that come in as well.
Do you feel like you get like beer drinkers that still come here, like they make great beer, or do you feel like you have people that you're introducing to these styles because they're coming here for the food?
Definitely a mixture of both. So you definitely have your afternoon crowd is definitely more of the restaurant type. So you have those lighter beers like the 60422 or our Zephyr Golden Lager or our Station Master Wheat that they come in here and enjoy. But then you have a beer like we're about to drink, our Island Jumper Double IPA, and that's geared more towards those beer drinkers that come in towards after work in the evening hours and stuff like that, and that's something that's more like for them.
Wow, that's insane. I just tasted that Island Jumper. I get why you named it that. I feel like I'm having something that's incredibly fruity, and this goes back to how IPAs will bring out citrus and mango and all this stuff, but you're not putting citrus and mango in it, are you?
No, so we use, in this beer, we're using Nelson Sauvin and Sabro hops, so you get a little bit of coconut, you get that tropical fruit flavor, and then the Nelson Sauvin kind of rounds it out with like a white grape, white wine kind of characteristic that kind of blends it all together.
You could serve this on a beach. Like you could actually, this would be like one of those things where like people are walking up and they're going, do I want to have a Mai Tai? Do I want a pina colada? Or do I want to drink this? Because this is a really, like every once in a while, I'll have something and I'll go, well, this is really different. This is really different because I'm an IPA drinker and it's hazy and it's really dark and you couldn't see through this if you tried as hard as you could and it's just thick looking. But like, I would think that you poured a bunch of fruit into it. Like this way, that I think people that hate bitter IPAs would see IPA and not go anywhere near this. But I'm telling you right now, I could hand this to my wife and she'd be like, this is great. I'm going to drink 12 of them.
Yeah, it would. I might not recommend the 12 at 8.2%, but, I mean, you might be leaving here on your hands and knees, but, it's okay. But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those beers that, people just, they might be put off by it right away just because of, what it is or what it looks like and stuff like that. But you take a sip of it and then you're like, oh, man, this is pretty delicious. So I think I'll have another one.
Is the caboose open this summer?
So we are, it's going to, not exactly sure on the firm date of when it is opening off the top of my head, but it will be opening by sometime this summer, yeah. Hopefully by the end of the month in June or early July.
I think the caboose is one of the coolest things to come and do. Like show up and sit in an actual train caboose. And there's a bar in there and a couple of tables, or you can walk up and get it and go sit on the patio. But I think it's one of the coolest things that you guys have. I mean, it's one of the neatest spots to have a beer is to like climb onto an actual train car and there's a bar inside of it. I mean, I've actually sat at the bar in there, on a night where there's enough room and you can kind of like sit at a bar in a caboose and like chit chat with the people that are in there. It's really kind of a fun experience. It's very unique, right? Very
unique. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely tight. But we're able to fit 4 or 5 tables. We got 4 or 5 bar seats in there. We have 4 draft beers. You can put any canned beer that we have or bottled beer that we have. You'll be able to get as well. So the options are, I wouldn't say endless, but there are plenty of them.
Great beer here in Flossmoor. You remember the address off the top of your head?
It is 1035 Sterling Avenue in Flossmoor.
And there's solid parking here. They've got some street parking here. They've got, up and down in this area. It's a neat little spot. You got a couple little shops over here. You can spend the afternoon here. You can come here in the evening. It's a beautiful, beautiful area with a bunch of trees around it. It's kind of a neat place to bring if you want to bring your kids out. And you're like, I'm going to bring my kids and let them watch me drink. Well, I sit on a patio. They can stare at the trains. It's perfect for it. And Ryan Chaya makes good beer. Thanks, my friend.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to see what's happening on the Southside Pod. On the Southside Pod. Join us again and be sure to tell a friend about the Southside Pod. About the Southside Pod. All things about the neighborhood we live in. All things about the places that we go. It's the best side of Chicago, the South Side Pod.
We did one where we put the pig
I
in the
went to a
box
pig
and
roast once.
put the fire on top of the pig.
Yes.
It was
Is
pretty
that what
cool.
your pig roast was like?
It was pretty cool.
When you had
Did
the
you
pig
eat
roast?
it?
Did you eat the pig?
Yeah, we ate it too.
Eat the pig.
Was
Eat
the
the pig.
Eat the
Was the
It's a
skin
literary
crispy?
reference for Mike.
Was it
The-
crispy skin?
not everywhere, but parts of it were.
Right.
It was tasty. We bunch of barbecue sauce. You wanted barbecue sauce, you could.
Look at that. You could put barbecue sauce on it and everything.
Yeah,
Hell of a
Why'd
story,
you say
Mike.
barbecue sauce twice?
barbecue sauce. I talk good.
No, you don't.
Stick to writing.